Technology and innovation are two important pillars of leadership. Leaders who have embraced technology and innovation have gone far ahead. Today, as part of leadership series by Global TV, we have one such leader who is ahead of his time when it comes to technology and innovation, Dr. Sam Pitroda. Welcome to our discussion on leadership, Dr. Sam.
Thank you, sir. How are you?
I am good, thank you. Dr. Pitroda is a globally well-known technocrat, entrepreneur, policymaker, inventor, and a leader. He is synonymous with development of telecommunication in India. He was the first chairman of Indian Telecom Commission. And of course, all of us know Sam Pitroda as the person behind the STD and the ISD booths in India. He led the National Knowledge Commission. He was the chairman of National Innovation Council. He was advisor to two prime ministers of India, Rajiv Gandhi and Dr. Manmohan Singh. He was advisor at the rank of a cabinet minister on information infrastructure and innovation with Dr. Manmohan Singh. He is the founding chairman of many NGOs, well-known India Food Bank, Global Knowledge Initiative, Institute of Transdisciplinary Health. He is also the chairman of International Telecommunication Union's Empowering Development Board. These are just a few which Dr. Sam Pitroda has done. In his leadership role, many national, international, and global positions. He has 100 patents to his credit, 20 honorary PhDs, and he is also a recipient of the Padma Bhushan by Government of India. Mr. Sam Pitroda, we are very happy to have you with us on this discussion on leadership series by Global TV.
Thank you for the invitation. And
I'm sure your words of wisdom on leadership will definitely be enlightening our listeners. See, many leaders build up leadership as they grow in the career or in positions. But some leaders have it from an early age. What has been your experience? Did you show leadership qualities when you were in the school, college, or you built it up as you grew up in your career?
I think one thing that I learned when I was very young came from Gandhian values. You know, I was born and raised in a small little tribal village in Orissa in 1942. It was British Raj, and Mahatma Gandhi was the hero for the nation. So conversation at home, in schools, were all about Gandhian values: truth, trust, love, freedom, diversity. So in school, we focused on these values knowingly or unknowingly.
Okay.
And then got into a boarding school where I got an opportunity to participate in variety of things.
Okay.
Music. I learned how to play tabla when I was 10-year-old.
Right.
Then drama. Then debate. All these things opened your horizon
Okay.
to multiple activities, and that, I believe, ultimately helped. And good parents, parents with values, parents who focused on discipline,
Right.
and all of these things ultimately help. You know, when you are young, now that I analyze things, I realize that the most important things today would be to have discipline,
Okay.
would require some understanding of self,
Right.
respect for other human being,
Right.
creativity, multidisciplinary approach,
Right.
All of these things ultimately add up.
So you are suggesting that participating in multidisciplinary activities during your school and college really helps you to first of all understand yourself, and thereby you can build up your leadership
And you
qualities.
learn tolerance, and you learn how to communicate with people, and you learn um, sort of diversity. Okay.
Right, right,
See, the most fundamental issue to me relates to self.
right.
No business schools teach you how to build good self.
I know.
Self that is fairly strong. I find that in India, self is very fragile.
Okay.
Everybody is ready to be hurt. You
To
don't
be
invite me
hurt,
to your party, and I feel
hurt,
bad.
hurt. H-U-R-T, hurt.
Yes, yes, yes. Because you don't invite
Okay.
me to your party, I feel hurt. Okay, you don't say hello to me and you say hello to somebody else, I feel bad.
Okay.
These are the signs of fragile self-esteem. And I see it on TV in India every day. People insulting each other, people fighting with each other, people arguing. What they are saying is, I am hurt.
Okay.
And my self-esteem is very fragile.
Okay.
I want only my viewpoint and not somebody else's viewpoint. I'm not willing to listen. I'm not open. I'm not transparent. My tolerance level is very low. And I think in leadership, you need a very strong self.
Okay.
And a lot of leaders have very fragile self, and they are still leaders.
That is interesting. You have a fragile self, but you are still leaders. So, but I think what I take from what you're saying, that we should have a very strong self and also tolerance for other people
Exactly.
around
It is
us.
okay for you to ignore me. It is perfectly all right. Nothing wrong
Right.
with it, because you have other priorities, and I should respect that.
Absolutely. I agree.
If you have 5 people to invite for a dinner and I'm the 6th one, it's perfectly normal.
Correct. Correct.
I
I
shouldn't
just
read
wanted
anything
to,
into it.
okay. I just wanted to ask you one question. Like, see, you have gone through various organizations, which is, private organization, your own entrepreneurship. Then you have joined the government in some capacity. Is there any incident which you think has changed the way your leadership style today is? It was previously different, and today it's different.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of interesting examples. When I moved from US to India to work on CDOT during
Right.
Rajiv Gandhi's time, I realized that my style of management was very different.
Correct.
In India, it was more hierarchical and more
Yes.
feudal.
Yes.
Mine was more egalitarian.
Okay.
I did not believe in command and control. I believed in collaboration, cooperation, co-creation.
Right.
And I realized that when I criticized somebody's idea, they
Okay.
thought I was criticizing them. And in my mind,
Right.
there were two different things.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I was criticizing somebody's idea today. That
Right.
doesn't mean I'm criticizing him, because
Correct.
tomorrow he may have a good idea.
Yes.
So I learned very quickly that people do not distinguish between criticizing them and criticizing their idea.
You're right.
It was a big learning for me.
Okay.
Okay. And similarly, I also found that most of the people are not very good at teamwork.
Okay.
Teamwork requires you to break hierarchy.
Right.
You could be a senior person in one team. A junior young fellow may have more knowledge of one area.
Absolutely. You're right.
So just because you are senior does not mean you have to be head of all the teams all the time.
I know.
There's another thing I learned, that people do not exercise and accept leadership at the same time.
Okay. That is, if you are a leader, I want to be always a leader.
Yeah, you have to be
I
able to
cannot.
say, this
Okay.
is the time for me to exercise leadership, and this is
Yes.
the time for me to accept leadership.
So they're finding it difficult to distinguish between the two.
Exactly. They want one thing all the time. Those who are not leaders, they assume that they will never be leader and they have nothing to say.
Yes.
And those who are leaders accept that they have everything to say all the time. And people should follow only their opinion.
Right, right.
It's a very important distinction that to be a good leader, you must accept leadership,
right,
and exercise leadership. And I find Mahatma Gandhi was a very special leader. He knew how to do these things well.
Okay.
Okay. Not only he had immense capacity for listening,
right,
learning. He was a great sort of moral leader. He could provide moral authority. And all of these things are very important for a leader.
Right. Mr. Sam, do you have anyone in your life who has influenced your, leadership style? Of course, you said Mahatma Gandhi, 100% I agree. Other than that, in your personal life, anybody else?
That's the only one. I must tell you, my apology. But business leaders don't impress me much.
Okay.
I mean, it's nice. They make a lot of money. They do provide great service to society.
Right.
But they are more possessed with self.
Right.
They want to optimize profit and self.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you.
I am looking for leaders like Gandhi, Mandela, Martin Luther King. And today there is a crisis of leadership in the world.
Absolutely. I agree.
The world does not have good leaders because most of the leaders are petty, narrow-minded,
right,
with very short-term goals of winning election or trying to be popular themselves.
Yes.
And they are not really in there for public service. See, leadership is all about service.
Yeah.
To me, leadership begins with self and ends with self.
Right.
Leadership is about providing a vision.
Right.
And breaking that vision into small pieces of work.
Okay.
Give it to different people to do that work.
Okay.
Motivate them, encourage them, excite them, and then put it together.
Right.
That's what leadership is all about.
Yeah, when we speak to some of those leaders, which, we are doing these discussions quite often, and we find this word servant leadership, how you associate with that? I'm sure you would have heard this word.
There is no such thing as servant. That's a wrong. There is nobody's servant in this world.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
That is not the way to look at this world. That's a hierarchical approach to world. Okay. Everybody has a job. Servant also has a job. When I sweep my floor, I have a job.
Right, right, right.
Okay, I must respect that. Gandhiji said, you must clean your toilet.
Right. So, no, I'm just correcting it. The word is servant leadership. Does it fit into your...
No.
No.
So service leader... Yes. Service is yes.
Okay.
That leader has to serve.
Right.
A purpose.
Right.
Leader has to serve community.
Right.
But when that goal becomes very narrow,
right.
My goal is only to optimize shareholder profits. Then I worry. Because then you compromise on environment.
Right.
Then you compromise on character.
Right, right.
And sometimes you wind up cheating.
Right.
Sometimes you wind up lying.
Right.
That is where the problem begins.
I think today what you're saying is today the leadership is all about self, how I can maximize my profit rather than how I can be a service to the society. Though they do a lot of lip service in the sense they talk about, the corporate code of conduct and all those things. But I don't think all of them really take it into heart.
Many
they
times
only say it for the sake of saying it.
Absolutely. Because many of the leaders don't mean what they say and they don't say what they mean. Okay.
I agree with you. Now, in your, I asked this question one more. I mean, you have had different challenges, I am sure, in various capacities as a leader. Is there any specific challenge which you think you found it difficult to overcome, and then how did you overcome that? It will be interesting for our listeners to know. Like, every leader definitely faces challenges on a daily basis, but is there anything which you can remember as a big challenge, and then how did you manage it?
Well, I think the challenge that I mentioned earlier about, people not distinguishing between criticizing them and criticizing their idea was a big challenge.
Yeah.
To convince people
Right.
that, look, I love you.
Okay.
I care for you. But today, your idea is bad. So we are
Right.
going to have a little conflict today. That's okay. Tomorrow,
Right.
we will not have conflict. Don't take it personally.
Absolutely.
I have nothing against
Right.
you.
Right.
Okay. I think that was a big
Right.
learning for me. Okay. Otherwise, I have followed leadership based on values and character.
Okay.
Gandhian values that I learned in my early childhood.
Right.
Focus on truth and absolute truth.
Yeah.
Tell them exactly the way it is. Don't lie to
Okay.
them.
Okay. I'm sure you would have had a lot of enemies in India.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely. Tell them exactly the way it is.
yeah.
And then trust people.
Okay.
Don't mistrust. And I had one example where I knew the person I was trusting was stabbing me in the back. I knew that. I knew the person.
Okay.
But I always trusted him. And I would tell him on his face that, look, Mr. X, I know I trust you and you misuse my trust. I know that. But that's okay.
Okay.
He said, no, sir, that's not true. I said, I know you don't mean what you say, but that's also okay. So I think truth, trust, genuine love, concern for people, understanding diverse ideas, building institutional framework, processes are very important issues in leadership.
In fact, you answered my next question, which is like, what do you consider as the most important quality of a leader? I think you have listed about 5 or 6 leadership qualities. You said you have done some interviews and you have done some videos on leadership. What has been your biggest learning when you're doing these videos as to what leadership is all about? If you have to summarize.
I believe there are various topics to discuss in leadership.
Okay.
For example, you could spend half an hour on self.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Yes.
You can spend half an hour on creativity.
Okay.
You can spend half an hour on innovation.
Right.
On teamwork.
Right.
On communication.
Right.
On collaboration.
Right.
Okay, these are all important ideas. These are not words.
Right.
Okay. These are very important ways and means of getting things done.
Right.
I mean, just a simple thing like, how do you conduct a meeting?
Yep.
If you are a chairman of a meeting, it is important for you to just sit in and say, the purpose of today's meeting is, and we have 30 minutes.
Okay.
Nobody does that. Everybody just walks in and then just somebody rambles and somebody says something and something happens. And then when you see the minutes of the meeting is totally different because one guy has his own idea and he just writes it up.
So you are suggesting that as a leader, we should start teaching them how to conduct a meeting. Point number 1.
It's very important. How to
monitor.
I agree. When
I
I go into a
agree
meeting, I carry my pad.
Right.
I have a pen. And I say, purpose of today's meeting is such and such.
Right.
We have 30 minutes. We're going to wrap it up. And at the end of the meeting, I summarize the meeting.
Excellent.
Okay,
in fact, I encourage, one of the things we encourage in our organization is people to join Toastmasters. You know that they help in actually conducting meeting properly with proper minutes, agenda, everything.
It's not rocket science. Believe me, it is not rocket science. We make it a big, complicated thing. Okay?
Yeah.
It is just being a decent human being.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Okay?
I agree with you.
And you
I
don't
had
need
one
to read
question
50
for
books. You don't need to read 50 books and study 17 experts and all that. It's okay. It's be nice.
right,
It has to be from within.
right,
If it is not within, it'll never happen.
right. I had one question for you. See, you're a technology person. You've got so many patents. I think in 1975 itself, you were known as the person who invented the handheld diary. Probably it is the earlier, I would
First
say,
version of handheld computing.
absolutely. So you are known for that. But how did this technology uh, background help you to elevate yourself to a leadership position? Your knowledge in the tech, did it help you, or it is that your self as a leader helped you more?
I don't know. I don't know the answer, but I would say I selected technology as my discipline.
Okay,
I selected to be an entrepreneur and not a professor.
right,
I
right,
selected to take risks and not have comfortable job. Those are all the choices I made in life.
right,
Life is all about making choices.
right,
What choice you wind up making? And
right.
sometimes you wind up making the wrong choice, which is okay, but how do you manage that choice? I had no
Yes.
idea that I'll come and settle in Chicago.
Okay,
I came and settled here and I've been here for 57 years.
that's right.
And my children say, why did you come to Chicago? Why didn't you go to Miami where the weather was nice? I said, I made a wrong choice on weather, but I made a right choice on many other things.
Exactly.
So life is all about making choices. And how do you manage those choices?
Right.
So at random, I winded up being a technocrat. Okay. I never had a degree like this,
Okay.
and then I have to manage that.
Okay. Now I know that you have so many activities. You are into your own business. You are into the government. You are an advisor to many governments on a global scale. How do you manage time for all this? I have one job and two things to do. I find it difficult. So
No,
there's a
I
very
think, no, I'm more work centric. I have
okay.
no other hobbies. I don't play golf. I don't go to parties. I do not attend weddings. Okay. I just enjoy my work. And to me, work is sweeping floor, to cleaning bathroom, to writing a book, to working with Mexico government,
Right.
to giving a talk at EU, or to painting. The paintings you see in the back are my paintings.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I paint.
I know. I read somewhere you're a painter, so I was.
So I do lots of interesting things. Some right, some wrong. And I'm constantly learning.
Okay.
My desire to learn continues, and that keeps me active. I'm 80 years old. I have to learn. So I read every day, couple of hours. I enjoy learning. And there is so much to do in this world.
Right.
That every minute you have, you want to enjoy. And
Right.
enjoyment doesn't mean going to a party. Enjoyment doesn't mean gossiping. Enjoyment doesn't mean, traveling all the time. Okay. I think it depends what you value. Okay. And to me, I've always said that work is very important.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I focus on three things: love, my family, my friends, my children, my grandchildren, my co-worker, and I get a lot of love from everybody. I mean, people like you.
Excellent.
Okay. And I get lots of love from, in Kerala, people have been so nice to me. It's amazing. Okay. How Kerala population has become part of my life. Okay. Even in the Middle East, all in Kerala.
Right.
So I think love is an important part of my life.
Absolutely.
Second is work of all kinds.
Okay.
And third is fulfillment.
Okay.
Are you really happy at the end of the day?
Okay.
And I think if I focus on these three things, life becomes easy to navigate.
Right. So can I conclude that, to manage your time, you need to first of all prioritize what are your values based on what you believe. Like you said, your priority is love, people around you, family or friends. Second is your work. And third is what gives you the
Fulfillment.
fulfillment. So work
Fulfillment.
around all three and you don't waste your time. You
Exactly.
know exactly what to do. So you're not worried
I
about
put together a business plan for myself. I have
okay.
two plans. One is a 10-year plan, which is a
Okay.
document,
Okay.
And
Okay.
then there is yearly plan. Like I have a
Okay.
document on 2022,
Very
already
nice.
done. What is that Sam Pitroda wants to do in 2022?
Very nice.
Okay. And then I follow that document. Every month I review. Not that I succeed in everything,
All right.
but that's a roadmap for me.
So
You know,
have you been, yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
have you been practicing this from a long time?
Oh, probably 50 years.
Very nice. I think
I
it's
have
a,
diaries of 50 years.
oh my God.
I already have it stored in my trunk. There are 50 years of diaries, year by year, date by date. When I met, there are some very interesting diaries I have in Rajiv Gandhi era,
Okay.
and I remember showing it once to Rahul Gandhi, and he said, "Hey, this should be National Archives." We are drawing, both of us are sitting there and working on some charts and all that. But
Okay.
this is personal memories of my life.
Excellent. Very nice. Very nice. It's really amazing because I'm sure people like me or youngsters, of course, I keep a diary, but I don't store diaries. I just 1 year is over for me, that year is closed.
I can tell
So
you
it
what
is
happened in
very, very nice.
1974. Okay, I have
All
a
right.
trunk in which I can pull the diary from 1974 out, and you can see exactly what happened.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm sure it's a big learning, a big lesson for the youngsters who
It's a part
actually
of
aspire
discipline.
to be.
No, but it's a part of discipline. That's all.
Exactly. Exactly.
We all know that.
Yeah.
See?
No, I am thinking about, we talk about 5 year plan for nations, but you're talking about 10 year plan for self, which is a
Yeah, of course.
very, very good lesson, I feel.
Yeah, it's very
Because
simple.
as you said, somewhere you succeed, somewhere you may not succeed, but then
It's
it's
okay.
always good to have a plan.
That's okay.
Very
I
nice.
did a plan when I turned 70, then I'm doing a plan. Now I'm not going to do for 10 years, I'm going to do for 5 years because I'm 80. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I'm going to do now for 5 years. I've done one already for this year, all
Very nice.
documented, done, and then I have revision that year of revision 00, revision 1, revision 2, revision 3. It will change.
Very nice. Very nice. Excellent. I think it's one lesson which everybody should take it in their life to create a plan for self and then follow. Very nice. I just wanted one question, like, because see, you have shifted from US to India to work with the government. You moved when Rajiv Gandhi was the prime minister, I presume. So what really triggered for you to move? Because I'm sure there are brilliant people who are in US or other part of the world who are Indians, and I'm sure they must also be getting invitations to work with the government. Many of them don't accept it for various reasons. But what triggered you to come and work in India?
See, I had made a little bit of money in US in 1979. And I decided to come to India to take my parents to see Taj Mahal. Because I wanted my parents to know that their boy has made little money and he's successful. And I wanted them to be proud of me.
Right.
Okay. So while we were planning to go to visit Agra. I tried to call my wife in Chicago
Right.
and I could not make a phone call. This was 1979.
Okay.
Phones didn't work in India at
I
all.
can
It used to
understand.
take 10 years to get telephone connection.
Yes, yes, yes.
India had less than 2 million phones for a
Yeah.
nation of 650 million people.
Right.
And I had understood that telecom is important not just for business, but also for social activities.
People. Yes.
People. Okay. It is important for people to be connected.
Right.
In India being such a diverse country,
Right.
I was convinced that connectivity would be the key to India's future.
Excellent.
So I started thinking about it and I realized that, look, I can always start a business in telecom, but
Right.
that's not going to change India. I will be rich.
Okay.
If I want to connect India, I got to give up everything.
Okay.
And that's what I learned from Gandhiji.
Right.
So I decided to come back to India, moved my family there. I changed my nationality back to Indian.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, I changed my nationality back to Indian. Now I'm Indian citizen. I was American citizen in Rajiv Gandhi's, before I came back.
Okay. That's news to me, actually. I mean,
Yes, I
I'm
changed my
sure.
nationality in 87. I
Okay.
worked with him as an American citizen for a while. Then I also realized that I don't want to take any salary. So I worked in India without taking any salary for all these years. I've never taken any salary,
Okay.
even working with Manmohan Singh, because
That's
I did not want
interesting.
to compromise.
Okay.
And that I learned from Gandhiji.
Right.
Okay. So I realized that if you want to make a larger contribution, you got to sacrifice. So I had a choice to make. Do I want to build a personal business or I want to make a contribution to India? I can't do that. If I'm in business, I'll always only optimize my profit.
Definitely.
So I said, I'm not going to do this.
Okay.
I'm going to do public service.
Okay.
Then we had 2 million telephones. Today we have 1.5 billion phones in India.
Absolutely.
Then we had zero software export. Today we do $200 billion worth of software export every year.
Right.
India has changed because of IT.
Absolutely, you're right.
Telecom, software. Indian talent is recognized all over the world.
Right.
In Finland, there are people walking on the street of Indian origin. They are software engineers.
Absolutely, you're right.
Silicon Valley is full of Indians. In 80s, Rajiv Gandhi's contribution was that every young wanted to be a software engineer.
Yes. Yes, for sure. Because
people don't understand or appreciate how seeds were planted in Rajiv Gandhi's time on technology, modernization, privatization, liberalization.
Yes. No, I am one of the beneficiaries of this, because when we were in the college, I still remember your name was very popular amongst us as the person who is into, making sure that every village, every town gets a telephone wherein you can connect with each other. I'm sure what we see today, that it's a development. It has grown into a huge tree from the seeds which you and your team, along with, of course, the vision of
I think
Rajiv
we gave a dream to our young.
Yes.
That you could have been born in poor environment, in poor family, but if you go into IT, you will lift your entire family.
Right. It is
millions and millions did that. Got into IT, got a job, made a contribution, became rich. They became entrepreneurs. Exactly. They have become social entrepreneurs. They have done a lot of work. So India has produced large number of IT experts all over the world. And that's why you have, people of Indian origin leading companies like Microsoft, Google, and so many others. Yes. No, but what really, which I didn't know, was it was your choice. I thought you got invited and you came here on government. I didn't even know Rajiv Gandhi.
So
I did not know Mrs. Indira Gandhi.
you went and sold this idea to the government.
I sold it to Indira Gandhi.
Okay.
I gave her a presentation in her house with her entire cabinet.
Okay.
Pranab Mukherjee, Venkatraman, they were all there. And I said, we can change the face of India if we focus on telecom and IT.
Very nice.
It was 1980.
Okay.
Yes.
For me, this is news. I'm sure many of our listeners, still
But
must
there are
be.
books written on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Harvard Business Review did an article on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I know that this you were part of changing the IT, but my idea was, maybe I am mistaken, that you got invited by the government and you came and did all this. So it's
Why
very
would
nice.
government invite anybody? They are busy doing their own thing. You have to dig and you have to work it took me 3 years to convince people.
Okay.
And I had to spend all that money myself to come and go and talk to people and all that. That's part of life. Okay.
Nice.
There are other important things to do.
So your idea of like, I want to take lead in this, and you just went about doing it without considering how much time, how much money is being spent.
Yeah, absolutely.
You had a single-minded focus. Okay, this is
That's
what
you need. That's what it takes. That's what leadership is all about also.
Very nice.
And in the process, I got broke. I ran out of money. When Rajiv Gandhi died, I had no money left. My heart was broken. The government of VP Singh came after me with Unni Krishnan and everybody. I had a heart attack. I had a quadruple bypass. And I had 2 children who were ready to go to college in America. And I had no money to pay for their tuition.
My God.
So I decided to come back to US. But remember, I had given up my nationality. So I had no visa to come back. So I came back as a tourist.
Okay.
But as a tourist, you could not work. So I had to restart my life again. But then I was 55-year-old. Okay. And then I had to rebuild my life again, restart everything. And that's what life is all about. Very
nice. I have one question, Mr. Sam, on, leadership is not about, you have passionately got, I need to do this, and you have been going around doing it. But do you really enjoy your leadership positions, or it's always a stress or a strain on you?
It's a work. Okay. Once you are a leader, it doesn't mean you are a leader all the time.
Right.
Okay. So don't expect you to be leader all the time.
Okay.
Sometimes somebody else will provide a leadership and you be part of that. It's okay.
Right.
So just because you're a leader on one thing, don't expect you to be leader all the time.
Right.
So learn to accept leadership also.
Okay. So you take it in the stride. You're saying that accept leadership as work, so that when you go
in some
along
positions you have to lead, in other positions you have to be led. It's okay.
Right. Okay, I have one question to you. What would you give if for the youngsters who are listening to this program as 2 qualities which they should work on to become a good leader?
My first request would be to build a good self.
Okay.
I put a lot of emphasis on building a good self. A lot of young people get irritated very quickly.
Yes.
They want quick fixes. They want instant gratification. They want sound bites. So building self requires in-depth knowledge of yourself and also of your surrounding.
Right.
Building self is complicated. Nobody teaches you that.
That's right.
Okay. Business schools don't teach you how to build a good self.
Right.
Business schools teach you more about how to extract value than how to create value.
Okay.
There's
That's an interesting point.
Okay. I want you to create value and not extract value from somebody. So if you got instead of 3%, 5% commission, that doesn't mean you are very smart.
Okay.
Okay. You're very smart if you create more value for everybody. So one major lesson I learned is that building strong, stable, respectful, disciplined, ethical, moral self
Right.
is a starting point. Second, if possible, be good at one domain, whatever domain it is. So
Okay.
become a domain expert.
Okay.
Mine turned out to be telecom, but doesn't have to be telecom. It could be software, it could be medicine, it could be biology, it could be agricultural, it could be, education,
Art.
whatever it is.
Right.
Take one discipline and be very good at it. Then you will find meaning in life.
Okay. Since you said about self, I have one supplementary question on that. This self actually gets built up from your home, from an early childhood. Do you think that if I didn't have a good experience during my childhood, can I get myself molded with a proper self?
Sure.
Or the self?
Sure, you can learn. You can learn. It's difficult to learn if you
Okay.
had problems in childhood, but you can
Right.
overcome.
Right.
You can overcome. You can have a very bad childhood and you can be a very good human being. You can have a very good childhood and you could be a very bad human being.
Absolutely.
Look at the number of people in America who are in prison. Okay, America is one of the richest countries in the world.
Right.
You have all the opportunities available, but you have the largest number of people in prison. Look at the drug problem in America. Okay, it's a rich country and you have huge drug issue in America because people are alienated. People are isolated. Okay, people have nothing in life to look forward to. Okay, there is no love. Love is missing in their life. Okay. And I think only you can solve your problem. Okay, you can't blame society all the time. See, we are quick to blame others.
Right.
But I think ultimately you have to take responsibility. So young people must take responsibility for themselves. You can't say, oh, my teacher didn't teach me this, my parents didn't give me this, and my friend didn't help me on this, and my older brother didn't do this. No, you got to take responsibility. Responsibility is something nobody gives you. You take it.
Right.
Okay. So young people must build good self, be domain expert, and be responsible for what they do.
Thank you so much.
I sometimes worry about a lot of young people.
Yes, it's
they
a
are
fact.
talented, they are very good, but they want quick fixes.
It's a fact. It's a fact because in my corporate life, I come across off late. If you take the last 10 years, especially, the people come, if they don't like something, they say, okay, I'll look for something else, and then they run away, saying that I'll find for myself, which is not, in our generation, that was not a culture. The culture was stay back, stay put, do my best,
fight it and learn.
Build yourself and then come back. Yes.
Agree.
Here they want to run away.
Yep. Because they want quick fixes. They want instant gratification.
That's right. That's right.
You
Thank you so much, Mr. Sam Pitroda. It was very nice. And really, I'm sure some of these points, what you have raised, will help our listeners who are definitely more youngsters. We are trying to reach these videos on leadership, and wishing you all the best. And hopefully we should keep in touch. And on behalf of Global TV, I extend my